Tasya Gyananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatyadesh Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patithanam Papanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaura Bhaktabinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna. I am honored, grateful, and very happy to be with you in this holy abode of New Dwarka. Could everyone hear? Special gratitude to Swavas Prabhu for somehow or other opening the doors of this glorious temple for all of us on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. And very grateful to each and every one of you. I'm especially grateful also to parents who bring their children to happily make noise in a place where they have no restrictions. So please, if you have a child that's making loud noise, we appreciate if you could go outside. Please. This temple of Sri Sri Rukmini Dwarkadish has a auspicious history. Srila Prabhupada, our beloved Guru Maharaj, our spiritual master, he loved to be here. At one time, this was the international headquarters for Srila Prabhupada's movement. And after Mayapur was developed, this was national headquarters. And more than anywhere else in America, Srila Prabhupada would be here. There is a filmed series of Srila Prabhupada's lectures I believe it's the only film series of Prabhupada's lectures that were ever made. And it was here in New Dwarka. Srila Prabhupada was speaking the prayers of Queen Kunti. So I'd like to speak something about that. Where the film was made, I'm not sure. Was it here but there was audio recording definitely. Brahmananda Prabhu, who was one of the earliest followers of Srila Prabhupada. And he was the first president in Prabhupada's society at 26 2nd Avenue. He tells a story, and he even wrote a Back to Godhead magazine article about it. Just today, His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj sent it to me. When Srila Prabhupada came to America on the cargo ship Jaladuta, he had heart attacks, seasickness. Then he got off the boat in New York City, and he didn't know anyone. And immediately he was put on a bus and sent to Butler, Pennsylvania. If it wasn't for Prabhupada being sent there, probably none of us would have ever heard of Butler, Pennsylvania. And he was staying in a YMCA hotel there. And the son of a person Prabhupada happened to meet in Agra, who kind of sponsored him to come to America. After spending a little time, he came to New York, and he met one person, friend of Prabhupada, they became. And Prabhupada was staying in a little office. There were no windows. And in the winter, Srila Prabhupada had to walk for several blocks to a public bathhouse to take a bath. There was no toilet. So he lives a simple life. He shifted to various places. Eventually, I believe it was June 1st, 1966, with the help of some well-wishers, he acquired a tiny storefront in the Lower East Side of New York. And some months later, Srila Prabhupada had a stroke. And it was Memorial Day weekend in May. And devotees, none of them were doctors. And because it was a holiday weekend, almost every doctor was on vacation. So devotees, they didn't know what to do. And they were all very new. Srila Prabhupada told Brahmananda Prabhu that recite for me the prayers of Queen Kunti. From the Srimad Bhagavatam set that Prabhupada brought from India, those prayers were there. And Brahmananda Prabhu didn't know at that time how to recite Sanskrit. And in that early publication, there were no diacritical marks, so it didn't really tell you how to pronounce things. But he did it. And he read the translations and he read the purports. And Srila Prabhupada was very happy. He said this was better medicine than any doctor could have. And interesting, even before this, when Srila Prabhupada was living in that little apartment I was telling you about, which was actually an office in a building, with almost all the funds that he got from, giving his books, he bought a reel-to-reel tape recorder. And when there was no one to come for Prabhupada to speak to, he would speak to the tape recorder. And one of the historic tapes that he made was just sitting alone before 26 2nd Avenue, before ISKCON, when he was all alone in New York. He recited all the prayers to Queen Kunti. And then Brahmananda Prabhu explains, in 1974, he was Prabhupada's secretary in Vrindavan. And at that time, there was an epidemic of malaria. Malaria is such a mystical disease. How many of you, please raise your hand, have gotten malaria? I have an interesting story about malaria. I was living in India for many, many years. And at the same time, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj was living in Africa. And all around us, people were getting malaria. And whenever we would meet in the summer when I'd come back from India, and he would say to me, "I never got malaria." And I said to him, "I never got malaria." And then the next year, he said, "So many devotees around got malaria, but I didn't get malaria." And I said, "So many devotees in India got malaria, but I did not get malaria." And this went on year after year after year. And I think we were getting a little proud. And then I got malaria. Very severe. Very severe. Medicines were not working. They had to intravenously give it. And I was almost dead. And a few months later, I came to America. And I didn't know how I was going to tell Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. But I went to his place. He was in Washington, D.C. And one of the first things he said to me, he said, "I got malaria." I said, "So did I." He said, "What day did you get it?" And it turned out we got it the same day. So malaria is a very humbling disease, especially because sometimes we think we're really good, whatever. But there's a little mosquito. The mosquito is a very small little person. And even if you're a champion, Olympic heavyweight fighter, one little mosquito will knock you out. You could be a great scholar, PhD. You could be a powerful athlete. You could be a billionaire. But one little mosquito, just, that's it. He just puts his little syringe of his mouth in you, sucks some of your blood and leaves behind malaria. So anyways, Prabhupada got 105 fever. And his assistant, his servant, Shrutakirti Prabhu, had malaria. And the person who took over to help Prabhupada when Shrutakirti got malaria, Kuladri Prabhu, he got malaria. Everyone was getting malaria. So Brahmananda Prabhu was with Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, he had devotees. He said, chant the Narsingha prayers. And I remember in Swabhas Prabhu, Archita Prabhu, Naikatma Prabhu, others you remember at that time, there was a message sent all over the world for devotees to be chanting the Narsingha prayers and praying for Prabhupada. Prabhupada gave us the prayer. Prabhupada did not want us to pray, Krishna make our Guru better. Because Prabhupada never wanted to ask Krishna for anything. The prayer was, Krishna, if it pleases you, please make our Guru better. And during that time, when devotees were chanting Narsingha Mantra and Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and Kirtan, he asked Brahmananda Prabhu, please recite for me the prayers of Kunti Devi. So I'd like to speak something very briefly about these wonderful prayers. Especially when things go wrong like this, they give us great solace. Kunti was the mother of the Pandavas. And the great epic Mahabharata tells the story of the many tragedies that took place in her life. Shukadev Goswami and Srimad Bhagavatam and Sutta Goswami, they explain the very essence of all the knowledge of all the scriptures. And there is one chapter of the prayers of Kunti Devi for Krishna. So many hardships from her childhood. Somehow or other, she lost her eldest son, Karna. Later, she was married to Pandu, who was meant to be the king of the entire empire. But somehow or other, most unfortunate situations happened for him, and he had to go live in the forest. I'm not going to go into details, but Kunti had 3 children, Yudhisthira, Bhima, and Arjuna. And Madri, who was another queen, had the 2 children, Sahadev and Nakula. In a most untimely, unfortunate way, Kunti, who was living in the jungle with her husband and children, her husband died. And her children were just very small. So the great saints and sages, they brought her, and she had to take now care of all 5 children. Because Madri also passed away from this world. So they came back to Hastinapur, the kingdom. And it was understood that Dhritarashtra, the brother of Pandu, would rule the kingdom only until Yudhisthira came of age. And then he would be the king. But Dhritarashtra's eldest son, Duryodhana, was filled with envy. Because Yudhisthira was so qualified. People loved him so much. And he was going to be the next king. Yudhisthira was a well-wisher, a friend, a brother, a father for everyone. He had no envy at all in his heart. He was Duryodhana's best well-wisher. But this even made Duryodhana more envious. So along with his father, they plotted to destroy Kunti's family. So many things happened. Kunti had to watch it all. They were fed poison. They put in a house that was set on fire. Then there was the great battle of Kuruksetra. And there, Abhimanyu, Kunti's grandson, was unfairly killed. Draupadi previously was humiliated. But the person who suffered the most was Kunti, because she's a loving mother. And the nature of love is when somebody who you love is in pain, it could hurt you more than that person. I remember when I was a little boy and I would do naughty things. And when my father would find out about it, he would sometimes say, he would have to kind of spank me. He did it gently, but it was humiliating. And always he said, this is going to hurt me more than it hurts you. And I never believed him. But then I realized it was true. He wasn't doing it to cause me pain. He was just trying to help me. That's the way things were done in those days. But that's the nature of love. The pain of our beloved is often more than the pain that our beloved is experiencing. So Kunti was seeing it all the envy, all the strategic plans for torturing, manipulating, and exploiting. And there was nothing she could do about it except turn to Krishna. And then after the battle of Kuruksetra, where her own eldest son was killed, Karna, her grandson, Abhimanyu, and then her great-grandson, Parikshit, and a Brahmastra was sent to kill him. So Krishna, by his grace, he put Yudhisthira on the throne. And then he was leaving to his own kingdom of Dwarka. And at that time, when he was about to get on his chariot, Kunti came and she offered her prayers. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devakinandanaya cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. She's chanting Krishna's names. Krishna, you are the supreme original person whom everything and everyone emanates from. You are beyond the modes of nature. You are beyond all of the illusions of this world. But yet you come to this world. You come to this world to reveal the ultimate goal of life, of pure devotion. In her beautiful prayers, she prayed that Vipadashantu tashashvat tatra tatra kachagat guru bhavato darshanam yatsyat apunarbhava darshanam. So many calamities have come. So many people have tried to hurt us. But in every situation, Krishna, you're always there. Let those calamities come again and again. Because when we turn to you, we see you. And when we see you, we no longer have to see the sufferings of birth and death. Janmaiswaraya Shruti Shibir Edamanamada Puman Naiva Hativadatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. That, beloved Lord, you are the property of those who are Akinchana Gocharam, who are impoverished. Because those who have fame, who have high families, wealth, beauty, high education and knowledge, such people, they are prone to be proud. And in that pride, they cannot call out your holy names. They cannot pray with feeling. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his Shikshastakam, he offers a similar prayer. Na danam na janam na sundarim kavitam vajagadisha kamaye mama janmani janmanishwari bhavatad bhaktirahoiti kitvai. I do not want wealth or knowledge, being a great scholar or poet. I don't want fame. I don't want the joys of the senses and the mind. I do not even want liberation from suffering. I only want to serve you and please you. This is the heart of bhakti that Kunti Devi personified. This is the heart of bhakti that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has revealed to us. And Srila Prabhupada explains that ordinarily people turn to God to provide what we want in this world. But true bhakti is samsadir haritoshanam. That we're praying, Krishna, we are not asking from you, we are asking how I could serve you. Little Prahlad, he was a 5-year-old boy who was put in incredible, dangerous circumstances. And his prayer is similar to Kunti Devi's. He's praying to Lord Narasimhadev, I don't want to ask any benedictions from you, because if I do, then I'm not a devotee. I'm just doing business with you. My prayer is how I can serve you, how I can please you. And Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas, they taught us this is the spirit in which we could chant the holy names. This Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. The mood is Sri Radha, Sri Krishna, please engage me in your loving service. So Prahlad, he offered these prayers, and then Narasimhadev made him king. And similarly, Yudhisthira became king, and Kunti became queen. So does that make sense? Having power, having wealth, having fame, having beauty, having all these things could distract us by making us proud. Trinadapi sunichena. To actually approach God, humility is required. So akinchana gocharam in this sense does not mean that we have no material possessions. It means that we recognize nothing is mine. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Everything is God's property. Whatever abilities, whatever knowledge, whatever beauty, whatever strength, whatever influence we have over others, it's all entrusted to us. And when we don't use them to enjoy in a selfish way, but use these gifts to serve, to be an instrument of Krishna's compassion, then we are akinchana gocharam. We actually all of these gifts become ornaments when we recognize with a grateful, humble heart that it belongs to God, to Krishna. Otherwise, they become great obstacles. To chant God's names is to have direct connection with the Supreme Being. Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Ras Vigraha. Krishna is not different than his names. His form, his personality, his qualities, his pastimes, his abode, his devotees, they are all accessible and revealed through the divine names. Golokera Premadana Harinam Sankirtan. Narottam Das Thakur has prayed that the holy names of Krishna has descended from the spiritual world of Goloka. Hare is Radha. Krishna and Ram is Krishna. Kali Kale Namarupe Krishna Avatar. Krishna descends in this age of Kali with all of his powers and potency in his names. Nam Nama Kauri Bahudanija Sarvashaktis. Krishna tells in Gita, Yegata mam papadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. That according to how one seeks shelter, surrenders, the Lord reciprocates accordingly. So this is where this beautiful prayer of Kunti is so important for all of us. To the degree we could chant Krishna's names with feeling, with humility, Krishna reveals himself and reveals the power of the holy name to purify our hearts. And she prays, Tvayi me nanya vishaya matir madhu pate sagrit. Aratim udvahatad ata gangevo gam udanvati. My sweet Lord, Lord of Madhu, As the river Ganges forever flows to the sea, let my attraction forever be for you, without being diverted by anything or anyone else. And Srila Prabhupada would often cite the beautiful verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam that when you put water in the root of a tree, that water naturally extends to every part of the tree. When we offer our love to Krishna, Aham Bija Pradapita, the Father, the Mother of all living beings, Sarvasya, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavamata Sarvam Pravartate, the source of all material, all spiritual worlds, all living beings. What is the result? Brahma Bhuta Prasanatmana Sochati Nakakshati Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labhate Param. When we attain this Brahma Bhuta state, the state of spiritual consciousness, then we no longer hanker or lament for things we don't have or things that we have lost. How is that possible? Vishayapani Vartanti Niraharasya Dehina Rasa Varjam Rasopyasya Param Dristvani Vartate. When we experience something higher, then little things don't disturb us so much. Brahma Bhuta, when we actually experience the nature of the soul, and we experience our relationship with the Supreme Soul, Ishvara, Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha, when we experience Krishna, whose eternal form, his eternal personality, is the source of all beauty, and whose love is the source of all love, whose pastimes are infinitely satisfying to the heart. When we actually experience that within ourselves, then we deal with the situations of this world, but we're above the things of this world. Actually, just yesterday, I was reading the manuscript from a book that will soon be released. Perhaps you have not read it. It's a book by His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj about one of the most incredible pastimes of our times. In Mumbai in 1972, Srila Prabhupada acquired a little piece of land in a swampy area to build a temple. And I'm not going to say anything more because you should read the book. But it's an incredible story of challenge. Out of Prabhupada's compassion for the people of the world, what he endured and how he endured it. And one of the many, many incredible life-changing lessons that you'll find in this book is how Srila Prabhupada, although he was above all the dualities of this world, he engaged in them with such a sense of responsibility. His intelligence. Shyam Sundar tells the story. He was in San Francisco. He was so eager to meet Srila Prabhupada. He was so eager that Srila Prabhupada was going to reveal the spiritual world to him. In his first meeting with Srila Prabhupada, he was all alone in the room with him. Prabhupada had him sit next to him. And he was thinking he's going to reveal the most inner secrets to me. And Prabhupada took a piece of paper and a pencil, and he taught him how to keep accounts. Everything that's spent should be put in this side, and everything that's being brought in should be put on this side. How esoteric is that? Because unless our spirituality is practical, then it's probably not going to be very real. What is the purpose of this world? For those who want to enjoy in disconnect from their own spiritual nature, this world is a place to try to enjoy. But dukkhalayam ashashvatam, because everything's temporary and everything's limited, it can't satisfy us. But for a devotee, this world is an opportunity to serve. The Bible says, be in this world, but not of this world. And this book of Giriraj Maharaj, you really see Prabhupada. He wants to do something for Krishna in this world. Why? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam dharmasya tadatmanam shrijamyaham. Krishna descends into this world to show compassion to all living beings. So for a devotee, we want to be instruments of God's compassion in whatever we do. That's why Yudhisthira Maharaj became a king. And Prataparuja Maharaj was ruling a whole kingdom. And Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj, they had so many responsibilities. When Lord Chaitanya was in South India, he was with Kurma, who was a very wealthy man, very educated man, very popular man. He was at the peak of his youth. He had everything to enjoy. He had a family. And when he met Lord Chaitanya, he became so attracted. He said, I want to leave this whole world behind and I want to follow you. This world is like an ocean. And all the waves of this ocean that are constantly battering are causing me suffering. I want to leave this world. I want to follow you. Lord Chaitanya's reply, never speak like that again. You stay home. You have your family, you have your occupation. There's no need to change. Just change your consciousness. Chant God's names. Study God's word, Krishna's words from Bhagavad Gita. And use whatever you have in the service of the Lord by using it in a mood of compassion to others. In this way, I will always be with you and you will always be with me and we will never be separated. And Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami tells, wherever Lord Chaitanya went in his tour of South India, which was for over 2 years, this was the message he gave everyone. Akinchana Gosharam. When we understand nothing is ours, then with whatever influence, whatever resources we may have, we use them for Krishna's mission. And Krishna's mission, Srila Prabhupada would often say that the message of all the Vedic literatures and culture in one line, let everyone be happy. But what is real happiness? Real happiness is Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasochati Nakangshati. When we experience the happiness of the love that is within our very being, the nature of the soul, Prema Pumartha Mahan, it's our greatest potential. It's our Sanatan Dharma, our eternal nature, our eternal occupation is to serve Krishna with love. And in this world, that love is expressed. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nasochati Nakangshati Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Labhate Param. We see every living being with equal vision. We see every living being as a part of God, of Krishna. And we want to make everyone happy by helping to awaken their love for Krishna, their love for each other, their eternal souls. All the problems of greed and envy and hatred and pollution, its root source is we're disconnected from that bhakti, that love, that devotion, that compassion that's within us. Jeev Jago, Goda Chandra Pole. Lord Chaitanya's message is wake up, sleeping souls, and be happy. So when devotees are distributing books, when devotees are offering arti, when devotees are managing, when devotees are taking care of their families, when devotees are performing their occupation, we're trying to do everything in a state to give Krishna pleasure and make others happy in the true sense. And the prayers of Kunti to Krishna are so very instructive to us, because whoever we are, things just don't always go our way in this world. And it's really good that it's like that. Because if everything went our way, very rarely would anyone become humble or take shelter of the higher power of Krishna's grace. But whoever we are, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Dosanu Darshanam, there are so many tribulations. But Kunti's prayer gives the light by which we learn how to grow, how to come closer to Krishna, how to even be grateful through the sunny and stormy times that will inevitably come upon us. Just the other day, I was giving a talk, and then afterward I was sitting, and it wasn't making any noise hardly, but the earth began to move. I was giving a lecture at the temple in Las Vegas. It was Friday evening, and everything was and I got nauseous because I'm not used to those kind of earthquake things. Although in India I've been in earthquakes. But as things were moving, some of the people in the temple, they were screaming and running outside. And I was thinking, there's not too much my knowing Sanskrit verses are going to do to help me right now. There's not so much whatever little abilities I have. Nothing can save you when certain things take place that are just beyond our control. But we can take shelter of Krishna. And when we take shelter, we're liberated. Whatever may happen to this body, whatever may happen to the things around us, real happiness is when we find the eternal beauty and sweetness of Krishna's love in our life, and we share that love. Because at any moment, earthquakes of so many different forms can happen. Sometimes in our own house, between husband and wife, brothers and sisters, brahmacharis in the ashram. Just there can be emotionally, like not 7.1, but 10.1 earthquakes that happen. Have you ever had that experience? You can't change the world the way it works, but we can change our consciousness. And we can help to change others' consciousness, to find the permanent, true happiness that we're all seeking. Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam purnamrita svadanam. When we have this approach in life, then we actually have a true Vaishnava community, devotee community, where we're well-wishers. The little things that happen, they don't really matter. If we're not focusing our attention, our consciousness on the higher goals of life, on the higher opportunities in life, then the little things that come about, they disturb us so much. And they bring the worst out in us. But as devotees, when those same things happen, it brings the best out on us. When we're in the mood of a servant, the difficulties that come bring the best out of us. And the good things that come also bring the best out of us. But when we're afflicted by the false ego, then the worst comes out of us. We become envious. We become angry. We become greedy. We become paranoid. We become disappointed. And that's natural. But when those very feelings come, we learn from Kunti Devi and our acharyas, it's like a signal. It's a signal. Turn to God. Turn to Krishna. Respond in this situation by taking shelter and at the same time doing the very, very best we can do with integrity in a spirit of a servant of the Lord. And then the difficulties that come bring us closer and closer and closer to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, our Acharya, when these incredible earthquake-like difficulties came into his life or into his movement, he would remember the prayers of Kunti Devi. And he would also help us to remember. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught us that every situation of life we can find the highest happiness, even in the sadness. Because everyone will die, and everyone we love will die on the physical level. There's no exemptions. But on the spiritual level, there's no such thing as death. The soul is eternal. In our relationship with Krishna, the all-loving, all-attractive, Supreme Personality is eternal. And here in New Dwarka we come together to remind each other to share this matchless gift of bhakti. And then in whatever we do, to try to share it with our loved ones and with each other and with the world. In 1973, Srila Prabhupada was giving these beautiful lectures, sitting right here. And his words, through his books, through his recordings, and through the hearts of his devotees, are forever speaking those words to give us solace, to give us hope, to give us faith, and to give us joy. Thank you very much. You sound like I made you sleepy. Should we have kirtan for a few minutes? Is Wednesday all right? Please dance. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Asyatyate Satharine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna